Hello, good evening. This is Malik. Let me do something that in life we need to know they exist. Number one. Number two, let us always understand that life has some challenges and situations that need our immediate way or mode of solving them. Among the many situations that we might face in life, there must be a solution at that time. And that's why, as Malik Updates Media, we are here to host you. We are here to tell you that we can solve these things together. And that's why today I've come up with this topic, preparing for difficult situations. Difficult situations actually means these are situations whereby you'll either have to creatively think or otherwise critically think about them and come up with a solution. But besides that, there might be simple way around a difficult conversation, more so when it comes to communication with an audience or interviewing people, when it comes to individual matters, when talking to victims, when talking to very many different people that will actually need you and everything that needs us an immediate solution. And that's why we are saying that we must be prepared, and thinking it through beforehand may help. I have some tips with me here that will help us know that these situations are difficult. And number one, we need to know about the facts. We know the facts about such situations, have some information, only true information about some situations that will make you or give you an okay to go ahead with doing whatever that it takes for you to do much or tell much about tips or ways of solving that solution, that situation, or that difficulty or that challenge that may exist. And that's why we are saying don't bring into the meeting confident that you get a gist of what has been going on. Don't just enter into any meeting knowing that you know everything. You need to gather facts first. And that means that what you can do to make sure you are prepared and know as much as you can about the situation. Ensure that you know as much information as possible. This will really help you in solving the situations immediately and being prepared because of solving that situation. Number two, you need to know about your emotion, or rather know how to control the emotions, because controlling your emotions is important, is necessary to preserve your relationship with the team member. Imagine you are two people and none of you can control the emotions towards every word that is being spoken, any situation that may exist in between those two people. That will actually mean that we need to either know the emotions running high or low, or either you become in a very hot exchange of words. Without you understanding these emotions, definitely you won't be prepared enough to solve that situations. For example, in a fight between two people, you need to know how emotional these people are at the immediate effect, because at the end of the day, that will mean that you have a lot to go. You have a lot of ways to go, and you need to learn a lot. You need to learn a lot. You need to learn a lot of things. And this will really help us to know how we can solve that situation. Sawa sawa. And then number three, we need to know the team members' emotions. Why? Imagine if you are going to have a conversation with some people, yet you don't know how these team members or these individuals have emotions toward whatever you are going to do. And that's why we are saying you may have prepared well for the interview and even have a rough plan of what you will say. But you cannot always predict how the team member will respond. Yes, it's a matter of fact, especially when you think about the responses that may arise or the responses that may come in whenever you are conversing with the other partner or the other members in an interview. Yeah, this will help us avoid throwing out accusations or to break down in tears. Yeah, you see, at times you may have arguments that will leave your partners or your interviewees crying. You need to have the empathy or the sympathy to be emotional in a way that will calm them down or will rather give them time to respond to whatever questions that you may be asking. And then number three, we have what we call the level of support you will get. Rather, number four, not number three. The level of support you will get. How supportive will those members escalate the issue? And that's why we are saying if the team member wants to escalate the issue, will your line manager support you? If not, why not? You have an issue at hand. Are you sure that, for example, as an interviewer, definitely there is some management behind that interview, there is some, let me say, directors towards that. Are they in support of it? We need to understand the level of support you will get. If a conversation will not have that much concern or deep concern concerning the interview or the topic, then that means that it might be best to talk this through with your line manager beforehand so that you don't end up feeling isolated or undermined. Yeah, you may not feel like I'm being supported on this topic, but at the end of the day, if you don't have enough support of whatever that you want to do, or you want to prepare for in any situation, then don't do it. Don't. Because you might escalate the issues out. Nobody will support you in any way. That will mean that maybe you are doing something forcefully. And then, lastly, you need to know that what will happen after. What will happen after? This means ideally you will agree a plan of action with the employee to help address the problem, whether it's to do with performance, attendance, or a personal matter. But if this isn't possible, what will you do next? What will you do next? Always have that backup or that important system that in case I use this system and it doesn't work, then I can apply the other way around. Always know that. What happens next after that situation has been solved? This means that you have to think more about your life. You need to think more about what has to follow next. When in difficult discussions, you can say anything to anyone in 2 minutes or fewer, and shorter is better. Better be short in difficult situations. It's better for you to be short, and people rather hear they aren't cutting it for 2 minutes than 20. So be clear and specific. Be clear and specific. The other day we talked about the 7 C's. That is clarity, eh, coherent, complete sentences, concise. You see, with those things, it becomes very easy for you to solve a difficult situation or a difficult conversation, which means as an individual, it becomes a way for you to do, let me say, like, you want to solve a solution. You see, you want to solve a solution, or a situation. You want to give out the final word or the complete word about anything. This will actually mean that if you have a good relationship with the person and they know you are speaking for their best interest, once they get over being shocked and upset about the feedback, they'll be gratefully you cared enough to tell the truth. Inside difficult conversations, it's good to tell the truth. Be simple. Don't use very ambiguous words or jargon of words or too much explanations that might leave the other partner tired or sad or either in any way that it is. You see, then as an individual, let's always learn that we need to do some things in life that will actually support us. But what do you need to do first in such situations? One, Always ensure that you introduce the conversation. Always, 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 always. Explain what you are going to talk about and why. Yeah. For example, in any fight or anything to do with conflicts, always introduce the reason as to why you are going to start a conversation and why you are about it. For example, in such a case, it's a conflict. There might be the need of ensuring that these people reunite or forgive each other. Definitely, you'll introduce that topic as a way of finding solutions and making peace between the two parties. So you see, by introducing the topic or the conversation, definitely you'll do this so the feedback recipient knows what to expect, and both the feedback providers and recipient feel as comfortable as possible. Yeah, both the recipient will feel comfortable as possible because they are giving feedbacks the way you prepared them or you introduced the conversation to them. You see, that becomes even easier. Number two, after introducing the conversation, empathize. Empathize with them. Say to them, this is difficult for me to say, and it may be difficult to hear. That's a very meaningful way of trying to solve a difficult situation. Empathize with those people. By doing this, people know that you're having the conversation to be helpful hurtful, rather than being hurtful. Yeah. When people know you are on their side, they listen less defensively. And this is because you have empathized with their situation. Feel for them. Put your personality into that situation, or put yourself in a shoe whereby you feel like there's something missing within that conversation. Maybe peace. Yeah, listen to their feedbacks. They will do that without defending themselves, or rather doing anything that might be too hurtful for them. And then number three, after you have empathized with them, describe the observed behavior. Yeah, describe the observed behavior. And this is because good feedback starts with the words I've noticed. If you won't do anything like describing the observed behavior, definitely you won't solve anything. And this is because you have to do this so the recipient can picture a specific or recent example of what you are referring to. Yeah. The more specific you are, the less defensive they will be. And therefore, the more likely they are to listen and take correction action. Are you listening to me? Yeah. Describe the observed behaviors because there are ways whereby as individuals we might not be too realistic with one another. But even if we are in a very difficult situation or whatever that it is in life, at the end of the day, a solution and a corrective action will be taken into action. Yeah. And then after that, we have to share the impact or result of the behavior. Yeah. We'll have to take the impact or share the impact or result of the behavior. And this is because recently we have just said after observing the behavior, there's some corrective action that will take place. Then that means describing the consequences of the behavior, whatever that happens as a result of the person's actions. You see, whatever that happens, that is the result. Corrective measures have been put in place. How impactful has it been to those partners? Has there been peace? Has there been unity? Has any kind of uh, lesser hurtful solution been found? Those are some of the things. If people are sad and you share to them with being empathizing, with being like describing the solution, finding a corrective action to put in place. Now the effects or the results are out. Are they back to the normalcy? Are they back to the peaceful nature? Are they back to the united one individual or a family? Sharing such things will actually help increase or result of the person's actions, even in the future. Then, number next, after these hard situations have been solved, sharing of the actions or the results have been fully been put in place. Now here comes having some dialogue. Yeah, ask the feedback recipient for their perception of the situation. Just ask them. And this gives both people a chance to speak and ensure the conversation is not one sided. Feedback conversation can become monologues when they should be dialogues, during which the recipient can ask questions, share their points of view, and explore the next steps. Now, peace has been put in place, has been restored, relationships have been strongly bonded. Now, allow these people have conversation after the peace has been found. We have, let me say this. After allowing them have some dialogues, then we have to make a suggestion or a request. Making a suggestion or request for what you'd like the person to do next time. Do this so the feedback recipient has another way to approach the situation or task in the future. Most feedback conversation tell the person what they did wrong and the impact of the behavior, but rarely offer an alternative. If people knew a better way to do something, that's what they will do. What am I trying to mean? You have solved the solution. For example, or maybe in the future something of the same sort happens. Definitely, we'll have solved the first issue. Now, we have to give them an alternative way of responding to such situations. For example, let's say rape. You have solved a solution, you have built up the emotion and empathized with that person and found a better solution for that. Now, you can train them or give them an alternative way of saying maybe they should avoid crowds that are like suspicious, staying with people who can advise them on how things should be, maybe staying around ladies of the same gender or a certain group of people, maybe for men, such things. That will be the best solution and an alternative way of solving such a situation. Now, being so lonely at times might be some of the reason as to why you can be victimized because of the loneliness nature or the maybe most of the time you stay all alone, but whenever you are given a solution to go and stay around people, conversing with people around you, staying around with the secured areas and such like things, it becomes an alternative for you to solve such a situation in case you see someone being incurred into or you yourself seeing that it might repeat itself. Now, the second but not least, build an agreement on the next steps. Just build an agreement. Ensure that the person or the people you have been trying to help them solve their issues or their situations, ensure that you make agreements with them by asking them if they won't repeat that, if they assure you of the unity lasting forever, if they can assure you for peace being there always, or rather, this ensures that there's a plan for what the person will do going forward. Yeah, this person should confirm to you that I'll stay calm, I'll stay peaceful, I'll stay nothing like involving myself in conflicts. Yeah, and agreeing that many feedback conversations do not result in behavior change. Agreeing on the next steps creates accountability. Yeah, allow them make some agreement or build some agreements on next tips by ensuring that they are accountable for any situation that might accrue. Let's say this, they might not be credited that they will be peace forever, but they should be accountable for any action that they take, knowing that this thing might result in a very bad situation in my life. Yeah, and that's how things happen. Then lastly, let me say this. Always learn to say thank you. Yeah, just say thank you. After solving a situation, always say thank you because those people need to know that you really helped. But always thank them for them giving you their ear. I know this conversation was difficult. Thank you for having it with me. That's the simplest way that you can always thank your audience or any whoever that you're trying to help them solve a situation. Now, by doing this, you need to create closure and to express appreciation for the recipient's willingness to have a difficult conversation. You need to create closure and express appreciation for recipients willing to have a difficult conversation. Yeah, the willingness. In case anytime they want to listen to you, then it becomes a very easier way. Now, there's this issue that comes in our mind about assertiveness. What does it mean to be assertive? This being able to express your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and opinions in an honest and appropriate way. Yeah, as a way of preparedness to solving difficult situations, we need to be assertive and not aggressive. Sometimes, when communicating, people feel inadequate, guilty, or regretful, which may be signs of passive behavior. Others may appear to be angry and critical, and this may lead to a sign of more aggressive behavior. Have you found yourself to be in an aggressive way? Yeah, it becomes an easy thing to be assertive because assertiveness is a balanced response, being neither passive or aggressive. You look at some techniques which can help you be assertive on the next screen or on the next scene. Yeah, let's just always be at times assertive rather than aggressive. Whereby being aggressive actually would mean that we'll forge, we'll forge something. Forging is a simple assertiveness technique which is useful when someone begins to behave aggressively. The idea is to find a part of the argument that you can agree with, as shown, for example, yes, there's this conversation because someone is saying, yes, I am late than I hope to be, and I can see this as an idea. Or yes, I was concerned that you will be left waiting for almost half an hour. Forging aims to give a minimal or calm response using terms that are placating but not defensive. You see, at times, let us always don't be assertive. And then another thing that actually will help us a lot, it will actually help a lot not to be aggressive, rather be assertive. It is to track the record or the stack record. This means you have to keep on repeating the same message until the other person becomes clear that you are not going to change your mind. Sticking to your fact, sticking to your point, or repeating the point that you wanted to pass across. This is useful when someone is trying to manipulate you by twisting your argument to break down your resistance. You see, now that is the thing. That is the thing. Focusing on what you wanted to put across. Another way of finding yourself not being aggressive, rather assertive, is to be never allowed to be compromised, or rather compromise. There are times when a compromise might be the best solution. It's not saying no, but perhaps saying not now or not that way. Don't compromise. By being stuck to your record or by saying that I'll stay to this forever, then always say if it's a no, it's a no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. Don't compromise. Don't compromise. And this will be very helpful to some of you at times. Yeah. And then there's this other thing that you need to build up your relationships and rapport. What do I mean by rapport? Have you ever felt an immediate sense of connection with someone? Almost as though you have known them for a long time and understand their point of view. You like them and feel you can trust them. This is what sometimes called having rapport with someone. Despite the fact you have been in a very long relationship with anyone, that, how do I put it? The continuous way of communicating to someone, that is having rapport with someone, allowing them communicate to you freely in a respectful manner. Building rapport can help you in countless situations, as the person you have rapport with will usually want to help you and help you not only just succeed, but ensure that you become a more important person in life. It can also happen at a period of time, and it's also something that you can develop. You look at things you can do to help you build your rapport when you want actually to increase on your relationship. But now, how do you help? How do you build it? How do you build your rapport? Number one, you need to know the basics of building rapport. They are very simple: smiling, relaxing, remember people's names, and listening attentively. Smiling with people, relaxing whenever anything that comes your way, remembering people's names and listening attentively. Then, number two, we have to do something or try to find something that we have in common with the person. This could be an interest, a sport, or often people in Britain using talking about the weather to start a conversation. Yeah, these are the most common things that happen in life, whereby you need to understand a way of starting a conversation in any situation that it is. And then it becomes easier for you even to communicate and building the rapport. For example, if you're a football fan, you can just talking about a certain team or a football club or any game that you like the most. And this actually creates a very good rapport without you knowing that I'm trying to use the common ground that will lead to a good conversation. And then number three, a way of rebuilding your rapport is sharing experiences. If possible, look for opportunities to work together with the person you want to build rapport with, or take part in an activity such as attending a workshop together. If you want to have a good relationship with anyone or a person, or the closeness to that person, try to partner with him in many ways. Try to build businesses together. Try working together. Try gaming together. Try attending services together. And this becomes a way of you like building your rapport. That is sharing experience. Then last part of it, of way of building your rapport, is you have to be empathetic. Being empathetic is actually understanding other people by seeing things from their perspective and recognizing their emotions. Yeah, understanding other people's emotions. That will really help you build a rapport with that person. Rather, many people enjoy talking about their likes, wants, problems, and success. Asking often questions give them space to talk and gives you the opportunity to understand them better. Ask questions. Ask about likes, wants, success, how people became more successful in whichever situation that it is. You see, and that will actually help you build your rapport. Just be empathetic, ask questions, whatever that it is, just do that. Yeah, and it will really help you, by the way. It will really help you to solve any situation that may be disturbing you. As I finish or as I wind up, I'll talk about motivating others. How do you motivate other people? As a manager or as an individual, actually, there's likely to come a time when you need to motivate others. This could be when your team is going through a difficult time, or perhaps when a team member is struggling. Why do you have to support your staff or motivate other people in any difficult situation? Actually, whatever the situation is, it can be helpful to have a framework to structure what you are going to say. Before you move at anything, actually, you need to do some things in life that will really help your crowd or your staff be more productive, being more productive. You need to do whatever that it takes for that to be much productive. Now, do this as an individual to do everything, ensuring that you communicate to your people, ensuring that you become good friends, ensuring that you build a good rapport, ensuring that you solve some situations. Make sure that you get attention and keep it. Just make sure that you get attention and keep that attention. Establish the need. Yeah, get attention and keep it. Because there are few ways to do this. Tell a joke, use some pertinent statistics, tell a story, and so on. This will help you get people's attention, because you not only want to get the attention, but to keep it as well. So it should be something that's important to the audience. Yeah, just get attention and keep it. Number two, establish the need, because this need is not your need, it's a need in the listener. In advertising, they use things like the fear of missing out to create a need. This is the hardest part, and where most of the work needs to be done. Just establish the need, and this will be really, really, really helpful to you. Number three, satisfy the need. Satisfy the need. Satisfy the need. Because once the need has been established, you then explain that there is only one way of satisfying that need, and it's what you are proposing. Yeah, propose things to satisfy the need. As a good communicator, as a good person that is ready to solve some situations. And then number four, visualize the future. The theme of this conversation is about preparing for difficult situations. Under it, we have just said as a description of it, we are thinking about the future. And that's why you have to visualize it. Because once the solution or proposal has been put forward, you paint a picture of what things will be like once the listeners accepted what you are proposing. Yeah. After you've proposed a need, you have satisfied the need, then that means everything that you are planning here should be reflected in the future, or should be impactful for the future, or should have some future plans because of that. And then lastly, we have action. Why do you have to be in a very faster move to be active? Put that need into action, because this is sometimes called the call to action. The listener is told what they need to do next. Yeah, as we have just said the other minutes ago, I just said that we need to think about the future. We need to tell about the future. We need to prepare a need. We need to give an alternative way of solving a situation. It's time to put in action everything that we do. And that's why we are always here as Malik Abdus Media, telling you that you are the best person that you can ever be. Meet us here every day, starting from now, every day, every day, for such like advices and conversations. You learn a lot, you learn a lot, you learn a lot. Thank you so much for being part of this. Sante sana. And welcome. I've been your host, Malik Abdallah. Thank you so much.